Hey guys! Welcome to Couple. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. Nebraska carried out its first execution in more than 2 decades on Tuesday with a drug combination never tried before, including the first use of the powerful opioid fentanyl in a lethal injection. Carrie Dean Moore, 60, was pronounced dead at 10:47 a.m. Moore had been sentenced to death for killing 2 cab drivers in Omaha in 1979. He was the first inmate to be lethally injected in Nebraska, which last carried out an execution in 1997, using the electric chair. Witnesses said that there appeared to be no complications in the execution process, which also was the first time a state used 4 drugs in combination. Moore remained mostly still throughout the execution but breathed heavily and gradually red and then purple as the drugs were administered. Media witnesses including the Associated Press saw Moore take short, gasping breaths that became deeper and more labored. His chest heaved several times before it went still. His eyelids briefly cracked open. At one point while on the gurney, Moore turned his head and mouthed several words to his family, including "I love you." No members of the victims' families witnessed the execution. The Department of Correctional Services said the first lethal injection drug was administered at 10:24 a.m. Moore was declared dead at 10:47 a.m. In his final written statement, Moore admitted, "I am guilty." But he said there are others on Nebraska's death row who he believes are innocent and he said they should be released. How might you feel if your loved one was innocent and on death row? Moore asked. The execution drew only about a dozen death penalty supporters and protesters who stood in the rain outside the Nebraska State Penitentiary in Lincoln. Death penalty opponents planned to gather outside the Nebraska Capitol at 5 p.m. for their own rally. The light turnout stood in contrast to the 1994 execution of Harold Lamont Odie, when more than 1,000 people created a raucous, party-like atmosphere. Odie was executed shortly after midnight in the electric chair, and some in the crowd sang the song "Na Hey Hey Kiss Him Goodbye" after it was announced. Later executions were scheduled at 10 a.m. Moore's execution comes a little more than 3 years after Nebraska lawmakers abolished the death penalty, only to have it reinstated the following year through a citizen ballot drive partially financed by Republican Governor Pete Ricketts. The governor, a wealthy former businessman, has said he was fulfilling the wishes of voters in the conservative state.